Hello, world. Hello, world, and welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from the Joy Virtual Studio right here in the beautiful Finger Lakes region of New York State. It is so good to be with all of you today. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, and we have a lot to talk about today. Of course, this is the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live on Rumble, live on Twitter, Spreely TV, Roku TV, Apple TV, every podcast platform you can imagine. And we couldn't do it without all of you every day. I hope everyone is doing well. What shall we talk about today, right? It's just another day in the chaos that is the 24-hour news cycle. Should we talk about the reflecting pool bandits that are defacing, Trump says, the news story here on the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C., is that the libtard bandits are coming in and ripping up the liner with box cutters, right? So we need the National Guard deployed to the reflecting pool, which now looks like an actual swamp. Like literally Donald Trump brought the swamp to Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, the White House and the lawn, it looks like a trashy trailer park. I don't know what to say about all that. Happy 250th birthday, America. Like this is what we get. These are the leaders we get. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So there's a whole controversy over what is going on regarding the maintenance of the nation's capital under the stewardship of President Donald Trump. That's ripping on X today. We also have SpaceX crashing and burning. We can talk about that. Who predicted that? I mean, $2 trillion valuation. Like it's just all so stupid. The stock market is coming down also with SpaceX. So I don't know where we are right now with the stock market, but last time I checked during show prep, it was crashing and burning as well. So that's fun. That's fun, right? Still at war, I think, with Iran, maybe not. It's open, it's closed. Who knows what's going on with the war these days? War, peace. I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. But yes, Tucker Carlson is done with the GOP. That's also a big headline on the socials. Liz Wheeler's really mad about that. So is Ted Cruz. We'll get into that. I think it's interesting what's going on with this new coalition. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Tulsi Gabbard, right? As people are exiting the Trump administration, fed up with the GOP and the Republican Party and Trump. You can see the beginning of an infrastructure of a new independent movement. Now, is this authentic or is this just another round of disappointments, another round of psyops, of fake news? I don't know. But we're going to talk about that today. Trump is posting on Q. He's bringing back Trust the Plan. I have a great video from Bobby Sauce on Trust the Plan. We're going to lead off with that today on the Shannon Joy Show. And we have Jeff Dornick coming up. He's going to join us in about 15 minutes to unpack the madness. You see the headlines today. Trust the Plan. Trump pumps Q conspiracies again as the tech bubble bursts and the market crashes. We are seriously living in the dumbest times ever. And I am white-knuckled on this roller coaster along with all of you. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut in this crazy world, just like you guys. Not left, not right, just sane, right? And marveling at what the news cycle has become, what our leadership has become, what the Republican Party and the Democrat Party have become in America circa 2026. You can't make up some of these headlines. You really can't. I reiterate, Washington, D.C. looks like a trashy trailer park with a literal swamp in the backyard while America burns. So President Trump, of course, is reviving the classic Trust the Plan, Q rhetoric, to distract the base at the exact moment that the tech bubble is bursting and the markets are crashing. So what to make of all of it? We'll be joined by Jeff Dornick today to connect the dots on the economic chaos, the fracturing of the MAGA movement, new incoming movements built around J.D. Vance, by the way. And J.D. Vance, by the way, is going to be my litmus test for whether or not these new awakened conservatives and Republicans who are finally leaving the Trump train, they're getting out of the MAGA cult. Are they really authentic? Well, that's going to depend on whether or not they get behind J.D. Vance, because it is obvious that Vance is a puppet of the techno-fascists. It's blatantly obvious. Anyone with two eyes and one brain cell knows that J.D. Vance is the next Trojan horse to be ushered in to deliver us to the police surveillance, big tech fascist state. Everyone knows it. So anyone playing the I like Vance game, or let's run Vance for the presidency next, Vance and Tulsi Gabbard, what a team. No, thank you. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that here on the Shannon Joy Show. We need a new movement. We want a new movement of independence, Democrats and Republicans across this country, activating from the bottom up, challenging Washington, D.C., the Uniparty, and the swamp. We need Americans to be peacefully disobedient, civilly non-compliant, and to build up parallel systems to challenge everything they're shoving down our throat from Washington, D.C. We need that. We want that, but we want it to be authentic. And I'm not ready to take the presidential recommendations and endorsements from the very same people who recommended Donald Trump not once, but twice, and covered for him and pumped him for the better part of 10 years. So I'm very glad they've come to the movement. I'm very glad they're here with us, awake, nonpartisan, independent. Jump in. The water is warm. I want as many as humanly possible. But you guys don't get to pick the next guy, okay? And you guys don't get to shove the next guy as a savior down our throats. I'm sick of Washington, D.C. I'm sick of electoral politics. I'm sick of false choices. And anyone who's going to try to pimp to me J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard as a presidential duo for 228 is insane. And I'm just not going to have it. So I'll just say that right off the bat. How is everyone doing today out on the Rumble chat? You guys are amazing. KC12112. I wouldn't trust Tucker any farther than I could kick him. He lost me when he went down the COVIDian branch on lockdown. I agree with you. I'm open to people coming to this movement. I don't know. The jury is out for me on Tucker Carlson. He's doing some very good work, really compelling interviews, like amazing interviews that I'm going to talk about today on the show. So even if it's a limited hangout, it's a very, very good and helpful, informative limited hangout. So I'm here for it. I'm not going to take the J.D. Vance recommendation, period. And I'm not going to do this crazy Republican primary thing again. You know, Tucker Carlson would have been very, very helpful during the primaries in the winter of 2024, when we could have had an actual debate, when we could have had an actual primary. But Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and Con Inc. and Fox News and Megyn Kelly and MAGA and the entire organization said, like, they buried any type of organization for Governor Ron DeSantis to even challenge Donald Trump. They pitched to their audience that Trump was inevitable. He was the only guy that could win. We heard that in the first round in 2015. They regurgitated it back to us in 2020 when we should have known better after Donald Trump locked us down in the first place and gave all of the power to Anthony Fauci, right? So this was not hard to do in the winter of 2024 when the Republican voters were denied debates. They were denied a primary by Con Inc. and Republican right-wing news media as they ran cover for Donald Trump. Not okay. Not okay. And that's the story on Tucker Carlson. And I hope that's the last story on Tucker Carlson. I hope he's changed, right? Because he is always there with the hot takes. He is always there with the great information, the hard-hitting interviews, tackling topics that right-wing news media and left-wing news media will not tackle. I love his independent platform. His interviews are amazing. He's interviewed people that I know very well who are critical within the medical freedom movement and the freedom movement in general. But Tucker Carlson is always there with the hot take, but never there when we really need him. When we needed him to speak up about the lockdowns, he was driving to Mar-a-Lago to convince Donald Trump to take COVID seriously and lock down the country, to deploy that executive order and the emergency declaration. That's when we needed Tucker Carlson to speak up. And we're going to need him to speak up again. And we'll be watching here on the Shannon Joy Show with our eagle eyes to make sure he stays on the straight and narrow. Futurez, it's great to see you today. Hey, Richie Bag of Donuts. I love your name on Rumble. You're the first on the Rumble live chat. I love meeting new Rumble chatters. If you're watching right now on Rumble or any of our platforms, please give this show a follow, give us a like, a thumbs up, and share with everyone you know. But the most important thing that you could do is come to the live chat, say hello, leave a comment, ask a question. This gives the show energy. In fact, I love the live chats. Sometimes they are more interesting, probably, than the Shannon Joy Show itself. And you guys are amazing. So, Richie Bag of Donuts, great to see you on the live chat. Hope everyone is hanging in there on the roller coaster that is our life today. Yes, Richie, as I always say on the SJ Show, I am white-knuckled on this roller coaster with all of you. Never know where it's going to go, right? Buskman, it's great to see you, and thank you. You are so helpful all the time. Ollie Robin 9, great to see you as well. Zen Woman is with us today on the live chat. Hey, peeps, just breaking my fast now with you fine folks. And green tea. We love fasting here on the SJ Show. I try to do a fast at least 3 times a year, a full 72-hour fast. I think it's the secret to good health and vitality, cleaning out those cells, cleaning everything out. So Zen Woman, congratulations to you on that. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm so glad you're here. During the commercial breaks, I'm going to be checking on the YouTube chat. So if you have a comment, a question, make sure you pop it in there, and I will keep an eye on that as well. Zen Woman has a question. Is anyone here attending the 250th in Nashville with Dr. Peter McCullough? I don't know anything about that, Zen, but it sounds like it's going to be a great celebration. And we just love Dr. Peter McCullough here on the SJ Show. Ollie Robin 9, you look great. Who else do we have here? Edgar 615, Gaelic Monkey. Good to see you all. And yeah, we got a big show today. Who else do we have here? Hey, bye-bye. Good to see you. And Clones is with us as well. Clones is asking Zen Woman about her fast. I'm interested too. Zen Woman, KC12112. I still cannot wrap my head around how the people continue to support Trump after 2020. Same, Casey. I don't know. Well, before we get started, I have a bunch to share with you today, and we're going to start with the new Trump agenda to reacclimate his base to QAnon and trust the plan. As everything is crashing and burning, Donald Trump is regurgitating back the old trust the plan, 12-dimensional chess. Like everyone is literally witnessing the crashing and the burning. And Trump is like, trust the plan, trust the plan. I don't have any money, Trump. My kids don't have any opportunities. I'm going to lose my house. Gas is like $5.50 a gallon. I can't pay my energy bills. Trust the plan. But I don't have any money. Trump, what's going on? Right? Like it's the ultimate gaslight. And the fact that these Trump cultists are still sticking around is astonishing to me. It is just astonishing. I cannot even. Bobby Sauce has the best video out there. It is ripping on Twitter right now about Trust the Plan. And we're going to get to that in just one moment. But I do have to take a moment to honor my daughter, my Mimi, who is graduating today. I have to get out of the show on time today because Mimi is graduating from high school. And I just can't believe it. I could not be more proud of my amazing daughter. She has accomplished so much, and she is just an absolute blessing to me. She's worked so hard. She earned an almost full academic athletic scholarship to play Division I volleyball in Tennessee, right outside of Nashville. And I just have to take a moment to just share with you, here she is. This was graduation. Let me pull that up. This was graduation in kindergarten. Why isn't it working? Hold on one second. Where is she? Let me try this one. Well, it's not letting me show my. I had some pictures I wanted to show of Mimi, and it's not letting me for some reason. Oh, well. Anyway, Mimi, I love you. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm going to miss you desperately. And this is just, these kids mean everything to me. They are my life. I know that your kids and your grandkids mean everything to you. And it's why we do this. It's why we do this every day, because our kids need liberty. They need freedom. And congratulations, Mimi, on an amazing journey through high school. I love you so much, and you are going to do amazing things in this world. So if you're watching right now, let's move on to the show. If you're watching right now on Rumble, please give this show a thumbs up and a follow. That's going to help pump up that algorithm. If you're chatting on the live chat, if you're commenting in the comment section, make sure that you're also giving the show a thumbs up. That's one of the most important things that you can do on Rumble, at least. I know I can't get the see. This is the travesty of self-production. I can't get things to work. I hope my videos are working today because I have some good ones. Let me see what we have here. So let's go to Donald Trump reigniting the QAnon phenomenon, right? Going in saying, I'm going to be posting, the White House is going to be posting Q. Now, he's also being a little cheeky. He announced that he's also, he signed an executive order yesterday on quantum compute. Basically, I don't even know what quantum compute is. He doesn't know what quantum compute is, but it's a big executive order. It's going to dump a bunch of printed money on tech companies again. And, this is to win the AI arms race with China, which China has already won, basically, especially in AI. They're just kicking our butts. This is why they're moving so quickly towards these high valuation IPOs for these AI companies, because they're crashing and burning. By the way, SpaceX crashing and burning today and bringing the rest of the stock market down with it. This is as Trump announces the executive order on quantum compute, which is just insane. It's highly complex and it's amazing. Like, they can't figure out how to keep the algae out of the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C., or the grass growing on the front lawn. But they think that this administration can compete now at this point with China on quantum compute. It's just insane. It is just insane. Insane. But this is what Bobby saw. This is the best analysis of Trump's new Trust the Plan initiative, because they have to distract you away from everything else that's crashing and burning. And they have to justify it somehow. Like, this is all part of the plan. The fact that you cannot pay your mortgage, you cannot pay your energy bill. We've lost the war to Iran with Iran. We have lost the AI arms race with China. The economy is crashing and burning. You have no money, but that's all part of the plan, guys. This is just a little bit of short-term pain for long-term gain. This is what they want you to believe. And this is what Bobby Sauce, who is going to be on our show next week, by the way, we're going to have him on for an interview next week. But this is what he had to say about Trust the Plan. Go, Bobby. None of my media is working today. Oh my gosh, I cannot bring up these. What is going on? Let me take a look here at the studio. So it looks like my videos aren't working as well, which is kind of annoying. It also means that I can't go to commercial break because those are in my videos as well. Did I press a button? Did I do something here? I don't know. Oh, that really sucks. The intro worked. I had such good videos for you guys today too. Darn it all to heck. All right. Well, I have Jeff Dornick. He's warming up in the bullpen. And this is going to be a fun show because not only do I have no videos, I also don't have any of my commercials to run, which is a real son of a gun. But let's see if we can get Jeff up. You're saving the day. You came in, Justin. I can't touch anything. Everything is frozen. That's the problem here. All right, this is what we're going to do. I can't even bring Jeff in because my studio is frozen. So you guys are going to hang tight, all right? I'm going to exit my own show, and I'm going to log back in, and I'm going to see if I can get, because it looks like the reason I can't play anything is because nothing is working. and I can't, my mouse isn't clicking. Okay. All right. I'm going to close this down, guys. Just hold tight. All right. I don't know what you're going to see. You might see a green screen. You might see a rumble. I have no idea. Jeff Dornick, you hold tight too. Thumbs up. And we'll see if we can't troubleshoot this. So no problem. Trust the plan. Okay. This is a little bit of 12-dimensional chess. I meant to do this. It's all part of the plan, everyone. So you just stay right there. I'm going to exit out and see what I can see. I'll be back in a moment. You to our sponsors if you are in the market for anything over at the wellness company. So your ivermectin, your Fenben, your pharmaceutical products, if you need telehealth, if you need an emergency kit, anything that you need regarding health, pharmacy, and nutraceuticals, go to twc.health/joy and use my joy promo code every single time. A lot of you guys have prescriptions that you get every single month. If you switch over to TWC, some people can get free prescriptions, which is amazing. They have a great program there for you, and which is absolutely amazing. And every time you buy, every time you get that prescription, you're reminding them why they advertise. What is going on in my studio today? Can you guys see me?
Now it's showing me. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my gosh, Rumble's going bananas. Rumble is going bananas. So there was an ad running. I didn't touch anything and it just stopped. And now you're in the host position. You're supposed to be on the other side, Jeff. Come on. All right. Jeez. What is going on with Rumble today? Oh my God. I'm bad enough at this as it is. I am bad enough at self-production as it is. And then when Rumble gets glitchy, man, okay, well, TWC, it's a great company. Promo code JOY. Use the promo code JOY every time you shop at the wellness company. Jeff Dornick, welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. Thanks for saving me.
Hey, this is all 17D chess, so I don't know what you're talking about.
All on purpose.
Yes.
This is my master diabolical plan, right? Yeah. And so it's all going accordingly to that plan, Jeff Dornick. And we're gonna have a lot to talk about today. I have a lot in the stack of stuff to discuss. I want to show you that Bobby Sauce video. Do you know Bobby Sauce?
I know of him. I've never met him.
You are going to love Bobby Sauce. And he had the best video on the Trump Q Trust the Plan new narrative that I'll share with you in a moment. But guys, Jeff is the founder CEO of Pickaxe, not brand new, but a relatively new social media platform that puts humans in control, humans first. It is going to go up against platforms like Twitter and Insta and Facebook. And how's everything going there, Jeff? Let's just get an update on you and how you're doing and how everything is going before we get started.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. We've been growing very very consistently. We just beta launched our Pickaxe Shorts, so we're testing that out. We've got a handful of accounts on there. I'm gonna have to get you set up on there as well. You can start posting some clips and shorts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's been great. We actually just last week we were out in San Diego at the Switchfoot Bro-Am, and so we were the VIP pit sponsors and raising money for the children's foundations and everything out there in San Diego.
Amazing.
That was a ton of fun. Like 17,000 people on the beach rocking out to Switchfoot and surf contest. It was a blast. So, but yeah, like honestly, we're constantly building, and now we're just onboarding as many people as possibly can onto this thing.
Amazing. And we need options. We need more options. It seems as if media is just completely dominated by the two-party political paradigm, the tech bros, left-wing news media, right-wing news media. We're beginning to break out. We're seeing that now with this new crop of independents that are emancipating from that two-party political paradigm, which is a great thing. But a lot of people are wary that movement is already captured. This new independent movement is already captured. People like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly, who are kind of leading the charge. They were the people who have been wrong, disastrously wrong, so many times over the past 10 years, particularly with their support of Trump. When people like myself, I mean, people who were outside of that paradigm. I mean, we've been saying this for the entirety of his presidency. So, that'll be interesting to watch. What do you make of? We're going to get to that in a moment. I want to talk about Tucker and his new announcement. He is exiting the GOP. Also, Tulsi Gabbard, she is releasing the Fauci files, but is that real? We're going to discuss all of this today with Jeff Dornick. But first, I want to ask you about your thoughts on the new initiative of this administration to relaunch QAnon, the conspiracy movement that asked Trump supporters to deny their lying eyes and trust the plan, because everything that was going down was part of that plan. It was 12-dimensional chess. He is a brilliant tactician or a strategist, and we just have to trust that. He's been doing this for 10 years, but they're dragging it out again. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into this. Interestingly, because what he's doing. So, what was it? A few weeks ago, he did the same kind of tactic where he was talking about the UFO files and then transitioned it to talk about illegal immigration. So he's kind of hijacking certain kinds of conspiracy theories and things like that, and then using it to talk about something else, which is interesting, I guess. I think what's different about this is that he's kind of giving a nod to the conspiracy theorists within that crowd. I'm somebody that when Q first came out, I was like, okay, interesting. I didn't really dive into it. I'm like, okay, I talked to some people that are like, okay, there's legitimacy. Some people there's not, but I'm firmly convinced that was probably a CIA psyop the entire time, because what it was doing is it was getting diehard loyalists to Donald Trump while also making them apathetic at the same time, because you just sit back and you trust the plan, right? So if you're sitting back and you're trusting the plan, you're not active, you're not actually engaged, you're just sitting back waiting for Donald Trump to come save the world. And we all know one guy, even forget all of his flaws, all of his bad things, even if you have the perfect guy or as close to perfect as you can, we're all sinful, fallen creatures. Every single time there's going to be somebody that's going to fail you at some point. So we shouldn't be putting our trust in individual human beings. So besides all that, one of the really interesting things about the Q conspiracy theory is that there's been rumblings within the Q crowd for a very long time that Q and or Donald Trump is using a quantum computer, probably one of the only quantum computers at the time. Again, I don't think that that's true, but going all the way back into deep dives into this conspiracy theory, there's been rumblings about quantum computing happening within the Q crowd. So you start looking at it. Okay, so now Trump is now using Q to talk about quantum computing, and he wants to achieve quantum computing by 2028. So basically by the end of his term. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, okay, so you combine this with Elon Musk, who in his own words says that he's using capitalism to usher in a communist utopia using artificial intelligence and humanoid robots. You've got Melania Trump being escorted out by humanoid robots that are run by AI in order to say we need teachers in the classroom that are humanoid robots. We've got Bill Gates, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, the whole gang of big tech bros is talking about how humans are going to be completely replaced in the workforce by AI humanoid robots. You've got Mark Zuckerberg that's investing $650 million into artificial intelligence, specifically to replace human content creators with AI generated content creators. And all of this is going to happen really when quantum computing combines with artificial intelligence. And in what world does Donald Trump then think that this is the right end game to go? It's going to take all of our individual liberty, all of our sovereign rights, all of our God-given rights, all of our ability to own stuff. This is like World Economic Forum's perfect dream of you will own nothing and be happy, which is the end game of this quantum computing push.
Right. Well, and that's if their mad scientist dreams of quantum computing are even legitimate, right? Like they're pushing this. It's a very bizarre moment in time that we live in, because I feel like they're pushing this sci-fi dystopian narrative of what our life is going to be. Like, they really want us to believe that this is what our life is going to be, but it's awful. It's terrible. Nobody wants this, right? And they're not going to achieve it. I don't think that they have the technology to do it. I think that's ridiculous. I know that there are disputes about that, whether or not, the robotization of the world could even happen. I don't think it could. I think we're going to have robots, but not the kind that are walking around with Milani. Like, it's kind of stupid, and I don't think that AI is in any way as powerful or as sophisticated as they want us to believe that it is. It's going to do amazing things, but this idea that they can achieve this, I think is precarious, to say the least. But at the same time, they're putting in all of these, the surveillance cameras, the flock cameras, the data centers. Like, they are building an infrastructure of surveillance. And I do think that they can build a surveillance infrastructure at the very least. They can certainly have us surveilled 24/7, 365 days a year. And that's going to be disastrous for freedom and liberty in the United States of America. And we just have to rage against that. But I think the larger thing is, Jeff, if I were to guess, because this is also happening as the stock market is crashing, the pump and dump has happened. We have been talking about this on the show for many, many months and years now. SpaceX is crashing. It's bringing the entire stock market down with it. I don't know where they are right now, but this is then going to really impact regular American citizens. They're not going to be able to pay their mortgages. And when you look at what's going on with the data centers, it looks like it's more of a land and commodities grab to me more than anything else. Like, they're breaking everything purposefully, right? So they're driving the flaming train off a cliff with Donald Trump on purpose to create the crisis. What do we have then? An energy crisis, a financial crisis, a trifecta of crises. If you look at what's going on with potential World War III in the conflict with Iran, that sets us up for them to essentially, this is all just a facade. None of them really care about crypto or tokens or anything like that. They just want to surveil us, and they want all the land, all the gold, all the silver, all the commodities, all the humans. They want the real stuff. Humans enslaved, all of the land and all of the minerals, all of the resources. And all of this other stuff with the tech stuff is just, it's a facade. It's not real. Your thoughts on that? That's just my sense of it.
Yeah, well, I think I would agree on the latter part. I think I would disagree on the former. So I think that I think that they are overselling what AI can do at the moment. But I think that when you actually look at where they're going with it all and the infrastructure, I think that it is there. I also, as a Christian, the more that I look at quantum computing and the more that I look at artificial intelligence, I don't think that it is tapping into like a demonic realm right now, but I think that that's where it's going. I think that that's what they're trying to do. And when you actually look at how quantum and how unpredictable quantum computing is, there's like quantum entanglement where it's like you take a quantum particle, you separate it, you could move it anywhere in the world, and what happens to one impacts the other one on the entire opposite side of the world. And you're just sitting here like, that's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy. There's a lot of people that actually believe that it's essentially opening up, to another dimension. It could be a spiritual dimension. We know as well that Operation Paperclip brought in a lot of Nazi scientists into our own government. And we also know that the Nazi government was obsessed with the occult because they were trying to communicate with demonic forces in order to build
100%.
technology, weapons, the whole
Right.
deal. And then what did we do? Instead of punishing them and saying like, we want nothing to do with the occult, get away, it should all be punished, put to death for all the crimes you guys committed. We're like, why don't you come in here into the United States government and work with us in NASA, work with us in the CIA,
Right.
work
Yeah,
with us in all these things, and then let's incorporate things like MK Ultra and remote viewing and all these different things that are clearly demonic and all of that.
Yeah.
So when we look at the foundations of this, the technology that they're building is the technology of ultimate surveillance. It is the technology that, everybody always talks about the mark of the beast. And it's one of those things where I think everybody uses that very loosely. I don't think they actually understand the implications of everything, because when you actually look at what like Elon Musk is developing with Neuralink, where he literally goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and brags about this, where he's making the paralyzed to walk, he's making the blind to see. Sounds kind of like he's got a Jesus complex. But then
Absolutely.
on top of that, then he's talking about connecting your brain to the internet to the point to where they would have the ability to erase memories and replace them with new ones. Now,
Right.
this is
Now
what
they
he's
say these things, but this is where I'll stop you.
yeah.
Of course they say these things because they're crazy. Okay. They are mad scientists with God complexes, hopped up on ketamine and all sorts of drugs. They've probably experimented on themselves. They look like corpses. They don't even look human anymore because I think they've run so many experiments on themselves. They're crazy. These are not brilliant people. These are not smart people. And of course they want us to think that they're going to be able to build the antichrist, the all-seeing eye. AI is going to become sentient and it's going to surpass human intelligence. I think it's a big fat Tower of Babel. I don't think they're going to get there at all. They think they are because this is the story of humanity. This is the story that has been told in the Bible, Old Testament and New, over and over and over for 4,000 years of human history. And so this is now just our version of it. Will God come back at some point? Probably, but I don't even worry about that. I don't do this doomsday end day stuff because I think it's ridiculous and I think they're ridiculous. And the more I see the fact that they can't turn a profit, they can't make AI work, they can't even keep the reflecting pool clear of algae, okay? Like they can't do anything. It is a Wizard of Oz, like loser behind a curtain, punching a bunch of buttons and feverishly trying to run the machine, and they don't even know what they're doing. That's my sense of it. I think there is sophisticated technology out there, but it is not anything that they're talking about. I don't think it's anywhere near where they're talking about. And I think they do this on purpose to frighten us, to make us think that they're coming and that there's nothing we can do about it. I think it's like a doctrine of inevitability that is meant to create apathy and submission. People just give up because they don't think that they can beat it.
Yeah, well, I think the thing in Silicon Valley, because there's been a lot of articles, and I've actually been reached out to by different reporters about this, where there's talk about, there's like kind of a Christian revival happening in Silicon Valley. The more because and what's hilarious, like I had a reporter.
Okay, Peter Thiel.
I had a reporter from, I want to say it was Rolling Stone that actually reached out to me about this. And she's like, she's up in Silicon Valley. She's talking to me about all this. And the more that I look into it, it's clear that, again, only from an outsider's non-Christian perspective could you say that there's a Christian revival happening there, right?
Right.
What's actually happening is there is a Gnostic revival happening right there. So the Gnostic worldview, have you read the Gnostic Gospels?
No.
Okay, so the Gnostic Gospels came around about 100 years after the early church, so after Christ was born, so after all the apostles had died and all that kind of stuff, and it gave an alternative explanation to the Bible. There was a character named Sophia that was worked into here, and it was almost, when you actually research this, it's almost like they're giving the perspective of a redefinition of the Bible from the perspective of Satan, but they renamed Satan to be Sophia, right? And so the tree of knowledge was actually something good. It's imparting knowledge to us, whereas God commanded us not to take eat from the fruit. Adam and Eve, they disobeyed, and then now we have got sin that entered the world and all that kind of stuff. The worldview of these Gnostics this worldview has really taken over Silicon Valley is not that God created the earth, Jesus came down to save us from our sins and so we can have eternal life.
Right.
Their view is all about hidden knowledge, secret knowledge, hence the logo of Apple. You take the bite of the apple, it's secret knowledge, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And then also they firmly believe, and this goes all the way back to like first, second century, these quote unquote Gnostic Christians, where it's not about saving us from our sin, spending eternal life with Christ, but it's actually saving us from our own biology. And look at what they're doing with this transhumanism worldview. Look at all these crazy things. And I think a lot of the craziness that you're talking about is rooted in this Gnostic theology that a lot of these guys are buying into, that I think is really fueling the transhumanist movement. It's fueling the
Right.
AI movement. It's fueling the quantum movement. And I think that that's the problem now, is that, Donald Trump and all the people that are around him are trying to make it seem like they're the big fighters for Christianity. We're going to make you say Christmas instead of Xmas and all this kind of craziness. It's like, but who's surrounding you? It's a bunch of people that believe in this Gnostic worldview that is
Right.
antithetical to everything that Christianity stands for.
Right. Well, and they're criminals. They're criminals. He's
Absolutely.
surrounded by criminals. The pumps, the dumps, the insider trading. I mean, it's breathtaking, frankly, to watch. The Trump administration is acting the way a criminal cartel or the mafia would act right now, and people should be very concerned about it. But I agree with you. I mean, I think that the driving force behind techno-fascism or the technocracy is evil. It is evil. It is wicked. And I'm not surprised that executives in Silicon Valley, people who work in Silicon Valley, who have come face to face with this, probably at a higher level than any of us ever have, would run to Jesus. I can when you see the face of the devil, when you see evil, you would run, to a natural God. So, I shouldn't laugh. All right. If they're coming to Christ through this, or finding the natural God, the creator of this universe, through this, then that is a good thing. And I would think that's probably happening as every American grapples with this. Everyone is unstable. I was talking to two friends over the weekend who are Democrats, and the instability of everything, up is down, left is right, the grass is blue, the sky is green. Like everyone is unsettled with where things are going. The news cycle is so blatantly full of lies, and it is just perpetual gaslighting, that I think we're all just kind of bracing right now for what is going to come. And I want to go there with you on in terms of the stock market. I think it's crashing right now. I don't know where it's going to be at the end of the day. This is driven by SpaceX, the absurd IPO, Elon Musk, $2 trillion. Everyone knew it was a pump and dump. It is a pump and dump. Apparently, the only people who will make any money, and just a little bit of money, are the people who got in within the first 5 minutes of the initial IPO. They're probably losing their shirts at this point too. It's also, as we know, because the stock market's a bubble. It's the Magnificent Seven printing tons of money. The banks print and print and print and just shovel money into the tech stocks. And that's what drives the stock market growth and the valuation. That's what drove the SpaceX valuation. But now, the music is ending and it's all coming down. So the SpaceX IPO and the collapse is now impacting the stock market as a whole, and everything is out of control. I just saw that it looks like the dollar is doing okay. What are your thoughts on all of this, Jeff?
Yeah, well, I've long had a very unpopular view, and I've gotten ridiculed for this view, but I firmly believe that one of the best things we could do for national security and for our economy is to disband the stock market altogether.
Interesting.
Because when you actually look at the like the original foundation of the stock market, going back to basically our founding fathers, was
Mm,
very different than what we have today. It used to
right.
be for like very specific instances of like, okay, we can invest in like whoever's distributing all the farm goods that we're making. It was a very basic thing about very specific things. What you look at it now is people like Bernie Sanders and the socialist Democrats always talk about how the wealthy are preying upon the poor and taking away the poor's wealth, and conservatives always ridicule them. But that's kind of what's happening within the stock market when you
Oh,
think about it.
right.
Every single person's 401k, all their investments, everything, everyday people, poor people, middle American people are investing in the stock market. Where is that money going? It's to make the billionaires richer. It's to make the
True.
wealthy wealthier. And so that's where I think you were seeing, in times of difficulty right now, the poor get poorer, the middle class is being pushed out. You're either going to be wealthy, you're going to be poor. The vast majority of
Mm,
them are becoming poor. Where is all that money going to? It's a massive wealth transfer
yes, it
to
is.
the wealthy. And in all reality, the stock market crashes. To them, like in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. They'll come back for it. It's all just on paper money anyway. It's not like they have money in for a lot of them in their bank accounts that is going to go out, because it's all assets. Like Elon Musk's net worth of over $1 trillion. It's not like he has $1 trillion account. It's just his net worth based upon the valuation of SpaceX. And but I all of this, the stock them everyday American who's invested in this, that's the end of their retirement, end of everything. And I think that take this free capitalism approach. You've got the government stock market in investing in certain companies. Remember, I got into a debate with Matt Gaetz on the government companies, and I'm really fine not be at all. And so I think when we're looking at the wealthy elites,
I agree with you. And the reason that list you will be talking about or capital, I only as a free think the word and corrupted. It's been state Republican conservative is really fast into knowledge under the noses, calling capital, essentially the federal government, massive corporations. They are cheating to create monopolies, being to now small to medium business done how cost bring the to money going to use their businesses in this next date for the and redistributing the wealth, the United States of America and the American people to their cronies. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, on my pennies are using sorts of horrifying go in people want them. I'm glad you set up, Jeff, because 100 Americans able to thing they want. They should be corporate they want. Type what the market is not from what it was meant out to, not of middle C in the stock for them.
well, go back to capitalism. It was a very decentralized job, like growing up, learning those. What thing is back to our education teachers, the sense of you board the whole top of the market. What companies are where you all these different across the and wonder it was the open wall. They have different aspects in every single economy. Very shop. And also the value implement as with really tiny business, local folks pushing sometimes there's employees a lot of, but
Right.
government corporate because they a lot of the regular corporate which get through.
It much sense. It's absolutely, it is a service. If they're worried about another company stealing air, stealing customer base, trying, if their competition was eliminated, they can do the prices. They'll reduce your will ramp down basic customers and like, this is the result of not making this fascism. Democrat for being list communist, you know, we look fascistic and right. That's market manipulation. The Donald Trump January 2020.
Yeah.
It's
A are thing done you're an air or Donald executive. That's where hypocrisy of the general where Nancy all over for it's ours. He's been like, what do you making a big deal of that? And our Donald 20 was agenda, and then that book Trump released. So is what this all and perspectives on this agenda,
right. Yes. Witness the amount of people who to cling to a while. And this point away how he been a few really what we is see
the app that's placed in Iowa, Google, also on now as that out
in a moment to our listeners, if in the market your product, tell about or anything and use my joy code you see they have which is every time you get that
capital couldn't herbs. So that on both see the
Haven't saying new in the system new many are saying that gold they're going to really out there in the world. That's physical. So IR air climate in the stock a little bit in this talk to and provide gold strategy chaos and Peter enjoy. You can go shift gold.com/ to get started now. And so you can with them or you can with them, but they have every type of that you would yeah, you heard them at gold.com/ very before I wanted yesterday to show you hate and you as in fact a little bit later in the Florida man things hate block cameras. This new report from 404 Media, a surveillance company called Leonardo is promoting a product called Signal Trace that enhances automatic license plate readers with sensors to capture wireless signals from devices. So this is like Flock on steroids. It's beyond your license plates. In addition to reading the license plates and capturing vehicle images, Signal Trace sweeps up unique identifiers broadcast by nearby electronic devices, such as Bluetooth signals from phones, AirPods, wireless headphones, smartwatches, fitness trackers, Wi-Fi from laptops, RFID tags, so key cards, microchips on your pets, car components, electronic fingerprinting is what they're calling it. It links devices that regularly travel together to a specific vehicle's license plate and location data. Like, this is horrifying. This is Flock cameras on steroids, and we need to fight against this 100%. One of the ways that you can fight against this on your own is to make sure that you have a full line of Faraday protection products. And I get all of my Faraday products at the satellite phone store. Their line of dark bags will protect you, your devices, your laptop, your phone from the prying eyes of the federal government and any of these type of new technologies meant to track and trace and track and trace. You slip your phone into a Faraday bag or a Faraday pocket, and you are off the grid. They cannot track you. They cannot trace you. And so many Americans are becoming more and more concerned with privacy. Everything is 10% off at the satellite phone store. So go to sat123.com/joy. That is sat123.com/joy to get your full 10% off plus extra special goodies and sometimes free shipping from the folks over at the satellite phone store. Dark bags, it's the best line. These are amazing products. Backpacks, ballistic, bulletproof backpacks. They have laptop bags and obviously the Faraday pouches. So everything you need is right there. All right. So let's get back to our guest. We have Jeff Dornick, who is joining us today on the Shannon Joy Show. Thank you for being with us, my friend. And yeah, people are fed up. People are exiting the party. People are sick and tired of the two parties. It is obvious that Donald Trump has betrayed every promise that he has made. His agenda today looks nothing like the agenda of his first administration, and even further away from the agenda he laid out when he came into the presidency. This is leading to mass exodus, which is evidenced by Tucker Carlson's recent statement. He is leaving the GOP after 25 years, maybe 30 years of a card-carrying Republican. Tucker Carlson has had it. He's fed up, and he is done. This is a new movement, and you're seeing the coalition being built. Tucker, Tulsi, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, right? A lot of them are aligning around J.D. Vance, which I find to be very interesting. What are your thoughts on this new movement, the Exodus, and hopefully what is an independent revival here in the U.S.?
Yeah, so the first thing I would say is I hope that this new movement would be careful and reconsider their coalition around JD Vance, given his ties with Peter Thiel and background in Silicon Valley and all that kind of stuff. I mean, JD Vance is the reason why you've got the big tech bros that coalesced around Donald Trump. So I mean, we got to be careful with that.
Oh, yeah.
I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people behind the scenes about this kind of mass exodus and what does this look like. And I remember I've a very good friend of mine is Michael Johns, who was one of the co-founders of the Tea Party, and he was there from the very beginning. And he said that one of the things that they experienced was that it was a very decentralized movement. They didn't have like a centralized governorship of setting up the entity of the Tea Party, and then it got overrun by grifters and by people. And he's like, in a lot of it, he's like, if I was to ever do something again, I would figure out some way of being organized in some way. I think that'd be very difficult with this new coalition because there is a diverse set of viewpoints on a lot of different issues. I think that, and I was just talking to somebody yesterday, like a prominent conservative voice, about this very thing, and I was like, I think that this is why, for me personally, I don't think that I would join a movement again. I think that I will align with anybody on any individual issue of agreement, and I will separate from anybody on any individual issue where we disagree, or at the very least debate or something like that. But I have no plans of joining another movement because it's so easy for the grifters to come in and hijack it. As we saw with the Tea Party, as we saw with MAGA and what MAGA has become. I mean, when you have Mark Levin being the face of MAGA and Lindsey Graham being the face of MAGA, right. I think the grifters have taken over.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that the concern with this new movement becomes, okay, we're going to replace MAGA with this other cult worship of famous celebrity faces, fill in the blank, whoever it is. Some of them may be well-intentioned, some of them maybe not. Who really knows? But if you're putting your trust and your hope in individual people, they're going to fail you, and then it's going to be much easier for intelligence agencies or whoever it is to co-opt them in order to push particular narratives to get you to buy into, again, more mass surveillance, more centralization of power, and all of that, even though that this entire movement is set up to oppose that. But this is where I think we have to be very careful now with a lot of people leaving MAGA, that we don't just replace MAGA with another version of MAGA, if that makes sense.
Well, it absolutely makes sense, and you're spot on, I think, with the analysis. I mean, we've watched movement after movement after movement after movement become corrupted, really, for the past 20 years. We saw the Tea Party movement corrupted, the anti-Common Core movement corrupted. We saw MAGA corrupted, MAHA severely corrupted, which is why I never ever claimed to be MAHA. I always talked about the medical freedom movement, which is very broad. And I don't think it's wrong to align with a movement. You just have to be ready to move quickly. And this is one of the things that has frustrated me about all of the movements over the past 13 years. I've never been in a movement because I have never aligned with a politician or a political party or even a political movement. It has always been principle based. Right. So every time the principles change, or every time they betray their principles, I'll give them like one chance, maybe two chances, maybe three chances, whatever. But when it becomes clear to me that they are actively operating against the principles that I hold dear and that we agreed on in, previous years, I move and I make no bones about it. I don't hesitate. I'm gone and I move quickly away from that movement. And it doesn't mean that we can't be friends. It doesn't mean that we can't be friends again in the future. But I am aligning with people in the moment who are committed to truth and to the principles of freedom and liberty and our Constitution, our Judeo-Christian values, the founding of this country. Like when you're there, I'm with you. You move for a second and I'm not moving with you. And I think more people in our positions in independent media did that without being afraid of dealing with the cult coming after you or losing a brand deal or losing access to the White House. Like I'm here, I am living proof that you can survive. I mean, I don't have that much money, but okay. Yeah, but I'm living proof that you can survive and you can do this while maintaining your principles. And you can move and separate yourself from parties or agendas or movements without burning bridges or not ever being friends again. But we need more of that. I mean, we need people who are like not afraid to quickly move and hopefully, and I am actually very impressed at how quickly people are picking up on the JD Vance thing, the Tulsi Gabbard thing. She's another one. She came out, left the presidency. She released the Fauci files, and everyone is claiming, that she's this superhero with, her silver streak in her hair. I mean, they all look like cartoon characters, don't they? Scott Bessent looks like a Marvel DC villain in a comic book. It's really weird. It's a little weird. But, this is interesting. She released the Fauci files literally one day after the statute of limitations ran out. He can't be prosecuted now. He's been pardoned. And that's the day that she releases all of this. I think that people are waking up to this very quickly. I don't think that they're going to be able to pitch JD Vance. I don't think they're trying. He's on The View. He's across the pond now. He's, really trying to elevate himself as a statesman. It's just not working. He doesn't have the riz. He's not likable. He's uncomfortable. He's a creation of Peter Thiel. Like, he's a techno bro fascist. Like, I just don't think it's going to work. But your thoughts on that?
Do we even know what JD Vance actually believes? When you actually think about it, because it wasn't that long ago that he was trashing, Donald Trump and calling him basically a Nazi, and then now he's flip-flop, to be his VP. But I'm just sitting here and I'm like, but what do you actually believe? Because he's kind of being forced into this position, and I think that this is where a lot of JD's uncomfortableness is coming out right now, where he's having to, on one hand, defend Trump and everything that he's doing with Iran and all that kind of stuff. But then also on the flip side, I think it's kind of obvious that he has some differences of opinion with Trump. But what are those differences of opinion? What are his principles? And I think that's the thing. That was my thing with like somebody like Massey, is that he's imperfect just like everybody else. Every single human being on earth is imperfect. However, I'm pretty confident I know where Thomas Massey stands on a wide variety of issues. Right. And to where I can deal with that. Same thing with there's different people on the left, different people on the right. If you're a true believer in what you believe, even if you're dead wrong, I can deal with that, because then I can negotiate and I can debate in good faith. But if you're flip-flopping, you're a chameleon, you're gonna say one thing now, but in 2 years when it's politically expedient, you're gonna flip-flop. That's where I can't deal with that, because how do we actually come to some sort of resolution or some sort of common ground or finding some kind of path forward if I don't even know what you really believe? And I think that's my thing with both JD Vance and Marco Rubio. To me, they both seem like chameleons that will say whatever they need to say, whatever's most politically expedient. And I don't think that anybody within the Trump administration can, in my opinion, get my vote. And the main reason is that, and you know this, you know that I backed Kennedy when he ran for president and the whole deal.
Yeah, I do.
But I remember
I still like you too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There was one time when I remember him talking about how him as a drug addict. He's like, you never fully get over it. And he's like, the only way that I'm able to stay clean is I always tell the truth 100%. But there's been multiple times since he's gotten into the Trump administration, and I like the guy personally, But he's gotten in and he's had to gaslight us, right?
Oh
We've
yeah.
seen Kash Patel gaslight us. I've had Kash Patel on my show. He's done a complete 180 from when he was on my show talking about government gangsters. Dan Bongino did a complete 180, gaslights us to our face about Epstein and every other thing you can possibly imagine. So when you're looking at this, these guys have been forced into a position where they have to defend Donald Trump or else they lose their job. They've chosen to basically gaslight the American people and push lies in order to keep a job, as opposed to being willing to leave over principle, or at the very least, just don't lie to us. Like, it's one thing if you're like, look, this is what President Trump wants. I disagree, but he's the president. I'm going to go along with it because I'm his employee. That, to me, that's a fair thing where you're still being intellectually honest, but don't lie to us. Don't
exactly.
That's where I think I don't think I could bring myself to vote for anybody who's a part of the Trump administration right now.
Or ever.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that we give these guys way too many chances. I think in 2020 we gave, or in 2024, we mistakenly gave Trump and his administration another chance. We never should have done that, because we essentially trained them. We trained them. You can lock us down. You can abuse us. You can lie to us, gaslight us. You can force inject an entire population and then tell us that it was the greatest achievement you've ever made. And we're going to elect you again. It trains the predator to be even more predatory and even more vicious and even more blatant. And I think that's why Trump 2.0 is infinitely worse than Trump 1.0, because he knows that he can shoot someone in the face on Fifth Avenue and his people are going to put him back in office. At least that's what he thinks at this point. Yeah. But I think that his support is eroding, and it's eroding very, very quickly. And we're going to keep an eye on all of this in the future. Jeff Dornick, it's been way too long since I've had you on. I appreciate you being with us today. How can people find you and support you? Anything else you want to get off your chest before I let you go?
No, I think that the thing for me, just really quick, with back to Trump and then the MAGA exit and all that kind of stuff, is I think for all of us, as I think we're kind of forging a new path right now of there's more and more people realizing we don't have to play these two-party politics.
Right.
I think that's very important. And I think on one hand, we support the people that are like, okay, let's walk away. Let's get away from both parties and all that kind of stuff. But also I think that we need to be very careful that we take this time to figure out, what do I believe? Why do I believe it? And then all of your votes and all of your supports and all of your alignment should be in line with your foundational principles.
Right.
And that may mean that you align with somebody on one particular issue and you're not willing to align with them on a different one because you agree on one and you disagree on another. We should be able to do that. MAGA doesn't want to allow you to do that. Republicanism doesn't want to allow you to do that. Democrats, it's like you got to toe the party line and that's it. Mm-hmm. We need to be individuals. This is what the founding fathers intended for. Be individuals with your own viewpoints. Your vote is your voice. Your participation is your voice. Your support for somebody is your voice, or an issue is your voice. So use that. You be an individual. Don't allow yourselves to be manipulated. So the best, obviously the best way.
Can I just add to that really quickly before we let you go? I agree with that 100%. I also hope that we begin to look at areas of organization and for victories outside of the two-party political electoral system and outside of the electoral system in general. I think until the American people can trust our elections, and I won't trust elections until we go back to paper ballots, highly localized, decentralized, I don't think that we're going to get anywhere, because I think the process is way too complicated. The power is in the hands of way too few people, and we know both parties work together to rig. So as long as that's the case, we are going to have to figure out ways to win outside of the ballot box. And I would rather we spend 80% of our time talking about those type of organizational efforts, opposed to 80% of our time talking about a certain candidate that is going to save us, or advocating for a certain candidate that is going to save us, or waiting on pins and needles as if the world is going to go to hell in a handbag or be saved based on one election that none of us have any control over and don't trust anyway. Right. So there's got to be another avenue. And I've talked a lot about that on my program, but I think that your point of localism, decentralization, using cash, building up parallel institutions, which you are doing with Pickaxe right now, which is why you're such a valued friend and guest on the Shannon and Joy Show. This needs to happen in every area of life, every industry, every corner of America. And I think then we're going to start to see real changes. We're going to realize that this is not all so complicated.
Yeah, no, and I think to piggyback off of that point, number one, we didn't even get to like you're talking about. We need to get back to paper ballots. We didn't even get to in California have legalized printed home ballots on printer paper. So that's a whole different thing going on over here. But I think for me, the way that I'm looking at this is that I could really care less about elections right now. What I care about is changing people's minds. I think that that's what we need to do. The left has been spending the last 100 years infiltrating every aspect of influence: the church, the schools, publications, the news, the media, entertainment, the whole deal. Why are they doing that? To change people's minds, get them captive when they're young, and do that. I think that we need to focus on changing people's minds. The elections, they'll come down the road when we actually get clean and fair elections and we change enough people's minds. But we need to focus on the changing minds and get people to wake up to the truth and the reality of what's going on, and stop worrying about the next election, because that's how they keep us distracted. And so I totally agree with you on that point as well. So
yeah. All right, Jeff, how can people support you, follow you, all the things?
Best thing, honestly, download the Pickaxe app. Go over to either iOS or Google Play Store. You guys can download the app there. You guys can follow Shannon over there as well. You guys can follow me over there. We just onboarded OAN, so they're coming over, bringing over all their shows. Children's Health coming over. We're going to be strategizing with them a lot. I was just talking with the Vigilant Fox today, so we're going to be doing a lot of really cool things with a lot of people in, I think, a lot of our circles and stuff. So that'll be great. But then also we're going to just try to figure out, how do we connect people to people? Like, that's what we need. How do we have actual human connections? So, but yeah,
well, and I love that. And it's like Twitter, but it's focused on humans. No bot farms, troll farms, algorithms, all open source. I'm just waiting to get bounced from Twitter. I'm just waiting, because then I'll be all in on Pickaxe and we'll be ready to go. I've just been highly undisciplined in getting my show out there because I have to press an extra button, and we got to figure something out, Jeff, so that I'm consistently bringing the show to Pickaxe every single day. But we'll do that. We will do that. Yeah. Really appreciate everything that you are doing. And hey, happy Father's Day, by the way, as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just chasing 4-year-old around the house all the time is a ton of fun. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited you're having Brandon on your show as well. Brandon Strzok. He very, very good friend. He's awesome.
Really? Yeah.
It'll be a great show.
Oh, I can't wait. Jeff Dornick, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you soon. And yeah, I can see you all on the live chat. Yes, I do have to get out a little early today. You're almost going to get a full show, though. We got an hour and 19 minutes going. And don't you love Jeff Dornick? He's great. I mean, always a voice of reason. Jeff and I have disagreed on a lot of areas over the years, but we have been able to maintain a very cordial and friendly relationship because we do both tether ourselves to principles. And it's okay to disagree. Sometimes it's not an agenda. It's not that someone's selling out. It's not that they are, part of the deep state or a CIA plant. It's just that they just don't agree with you. And that's okay. That is okay. Now that we have, speaking of Mimi, and now that I have my controls back here on the SJ show, we're going to end the show with Bobby Sauce, because we're going to end the show with Bobby Sauce. And then I want to show you a couple pictures of Mimi as we celebrate her today. She's graduating from high school. And I need a good laugh. I know you guys need a good laugh. And this is Bobby Sauce, his reaction to the new Trump initiative to reinvigorate the trust the plan narrative. As everything is crashing and burning, Trump wants you to look away. He wants you to trust the plan. He wants you to believe that this is all part of some master plan and it is 12-dimensional chess. It absolutely is not. We all know that, but no one can say it like Bobby Sauce. So let's take a look at what Bobby Sauce had to say about that. You guys are going to die.
Just when we thought that the super secret, top secret plan of arresting the deep state by not arresting the deep state and draining the swamp by re-electing the swamp was maybe not going according to the plan that we trust, the administration flooded our social media timelines with very not subtle cue drops to remind us that the super secret, top secret plan that's been in place for nearly a decade is in fact going according to plan. Because I don't know about you, because if I have a super secret, top secret military operation that only nobody knows about except every single person on Next knows about it, I'm just going to put Donnie's face in front of the letter Q to signal to them that the super secret, top secret military clearance that I have in order to get this information to take down all the global powers of the world is best hidden when revealed to everyone on X. And hold the line, Patriots, because everybody else just doesn't get it. It's not because they wanted to do marketing and branding ahead of the quantum computing executive order announcement today and everybody's favor behind it. It's because of the super secret military operation. Lock down the country? Plan. Rushed mystery juice that enriched everyone in Big Pharma, all the worst people? Plan. Passed the multi-trillion-dollar CARES Act that inflated the value away of normal dollars that's in everybody's pocket but raised asset prices for all the rich people that hold all the assets? Plan. Lock down the entire country, tank the stock market, reduce the value of people's 401ks, retirement accounts, and investor brokerage accounts, only to print a bunch of money, give it away to people basically for free, inflate the value of the stock market to record highs and create a bubble that everybody who already had the money was able to buy on the cheap while everything was locked down? Plan. Marco Rubio would be Miriam Madison's perfect little puppet. Secretary of State. Plan. Lindsey Graham is bloodthirsty for, wants to keep us in the Middle East forever. Re-elect. Plan. We're going to make housing more affordable by keeping the price of housing high. 50-year mortgage. Plan. Quantum computing requires data centers. Data centers require space. Space, farmland. Agriculture, eliminate it. Freshwater, burn it. Quantum computing, AI, data centers, good. Plan. Because what everybody doesn't understand, now stick with me here, Patriots, is that the data centers that everybody's been saying are bad because they eat up the farmland and burn all the fresh water, they are actually good because of quantum computing, because of the plan. Because if the executive order about quantum computing is good, that means that the data centers are good, which means that the farmland being burned is good, which means that the water being burned is good. So the farmland is bad, the water is bad, quantum computing is good, it's all part of the plan. It's a... And you know who's gonna make all the money by building all of those data centers? The rich elites. They should build the data centers that we run the quantum computing on, that take up the farmland, that burn the fresh water, that increase the cost of our utilities to enrich them. Plan. And of course I, everyday civilian with no military clearance or background whatsoever, am giving this information to you about the super secret plan here, open, in the public, on X, because I know, and now you know, the truth. Plan. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a logical tautology, a word that I just looked up to make sure that it was correct, which is just a general statement that covers all possibilities, so it's impossible to be false. Like, can't wait for what's next, or buckle up, or enjoy the show, Patriots.
And there you have Bobby Sauce, very good friend of the Shannon Joy Show, and he keeps me rolling. You can follow him on Twitter. We're trying to build up his Twitter account. His handle is @TakeNaps on Twitter, but he has a huge following on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube as well. Bobby Sauce is going to be with us, not next week, but the week after on the SJ Show for a live exclusive, because as you all know, I'm building up a little roster of comedians and funny people because I need to laugh. This is, the worst of the times and the best of the times. Everything is crazy and I just want to laugh. So thank you to Bobby Sauce for mocking everything that happens in Washington, D.C., everything that is centered around this president, because that's the only way we're going to survive this crazy town, USA. Right, everyone? Bobby Sauce. He's amazing. I know, super funny. You guys are great. Let me say hello to everyone on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I know that the feed was a little wonky. We had some tech difficulties today. But New Kind 13, welcome to the SJ Show and the live chat. Stephanie Green 688, so good to see you on the live chat. Hey, Savage Lee. Eno Moon-Eyed People, this is your second time here today. Great to see you as well. Deepwater One, you are great. Hey, Night Watch N8. Yes, I never, ever, the algorithms never play nicely with the Shannon Joy Show. We are always suppressed, very often not platformed. And so that's why your chatting on the live chat is so important. That's why giving this show a thumbs up is critically important. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and do that for us. And leaving a comment. If you're listening via, and the podcast platforms, we're everywhere, a great review, 5-star review, and comments are, very helpful in pushing the the algorithm for the audio podcast. And yes, Mark the Regan, Bobby really did nail it there. I have another Bobby sauce video for you, but we're not going to get to it today. And I also have Florida man absolutely eviscerating the flock cameras in Florida. If I can get to it tomorrow, I absolutely will get to it because it's hilarious, but brilliant. And we all need to be getting out and speaking out against these surveillance cameras because it's crazy. Just crazy. So, Durdurius, I see you on the live chat on Rumble. Great to see you. Fidgety Guy. D for the Almighty. So great to see you. I'm seeing so many new names on the live chat, which makes me super happy. And you're all coming back, which means you really like me. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Sometimes I piss people off with my positions, mainly because I won't engage with the two-party political paradigm. And so, no one likes me, right? Because I don't fit in any type of mold. But it's an independent mold, and we've done it for 13 years, and we're going to continue doing it here on the Shannon Joy Show. Strident Conservative, great to see you on the live chat. That makes me so happy. Han Soda 1, great to see you as well. All right, everyone, let's take a look. This is Mimi, my daughter. Here she is. Oh, look at that girl. That is kindergarten graduation. I'm so proud of that girl. She's graduating tonight. And wow, it's been, 18 years and it's gone by in a flash. This was her last weekend. She won the New York State Regional Qualifier for the USA Beach National Tournament, which is going to be in July. So we have a volleyball club that we started, a beach volleyball club that we started, and we're going to bring 4 teams down, Mimi and her partner, and then 4 boys teams, 14U. And she has just worked so hard. She has earned a almost full ride, academic and athletic, to play Division I volleyball at Austin Peay University in Tennessee. And I just love her so much. And then here we have, there she is. There she is, her senior picture. My Mimi, I love her so much. I am so proud of her. And she's just going to do great things. And thank you to all of you and your well wishes. She is my heart and soul. And she's why I come here every day. My son, Jack, my youngest, Teddy, my family, my nieces and nephews, they need liberty. They need the United States of America. They need our Constitution. They need our Bill of Rights. They need opportunities. And I won't rest. I am not going to lay down and let these criminals in Washington, D.C. steal the American dream from my children. And you shouldn't either, from your children or your grandchildren. We need to shed the politics, the partisanship, the labels, the D, the R, and focus on what we all agree on. And that's not hard to do. There are basic things that we can agree on. And we need to find that again. So for all of you, yes, appreciate all of your well wishes. And we are going to celebrate Mimi tonight within the Joy family. And maybe I'll have pictures for you tomorrow as well. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow. Brandon Straka is with us. He's the head of the Walk Away movement. He led millions to walk away from the Democrat Party. And I think he's fixing to lead millions away from the Republican Party as well. He should. This is the movement. We're going to hear from him tomorrow on the Shannon Joy Show. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Hello, world. Welcome